if you're thinking about quitting your 9 to 5, but you're genuinely so worried and so anxious about how you're going to survive, like how are you going to make money, how are you going to pay for anything, how are you going to handle all your responsibilities, I need to have this conversation with you. And transparently, I literally filmed this video and I didn't like it. I was like, I don't know if this is me, if what I'm trying to say is coming across genuine and transparent. So I'm refilming it, which I told myself I wouldn't do, but for this video specifically, I know I'm speaking to someone that hates their job, which is causing them to hate their lives, and they just need an escape and they don't know where to turn to next, and they want to just like leave that life behind them and go full in on content and just go full in on the creative, because they know that's where they should be. I really want to talk to you, and I want to talk to you from a place of understanding, because for me as a creative, whenever I see that like there's a thing that I want to do and I know that's the thing for me, I want to quit everything else. I want to get rid of everything that I've built, anything that like, I don't care if it's making me money, I don't care if it's how I'm paying my bills. I'm just like, I want to leave. I don't want to be here and I want to go to the next thing. And for some, that's really valuable, and for some that works, right? For some, they just are able to transition into a structure and a grind mode that like gets them the results that they want to see. And for others, it's hard. Like the transition is already like burdened down by burnout and just like tiredness and mental, like your mental health is already on the edge and already at a place where you're like, I'm not doing my best, right? And so I'm gonna quit. And you have to take time to get yourself back up to a place where you can then start to work for yourself and trust yourself and believe in your dreams and your wants and your desires. And it's not easy, and I don't think people talk about that transition a lot. They don't talk about like what happens after you quit. Like everything just doesn't just fall into place and it's like oh my god, like, this was the best decision I've ever made. Like it's scary, and there's anxiety and fear and doubt, and that's normal. But I also think that there's a conversation to be had about like, as a creative, right? When do you draw the line? Like, when is your job a job? When do you allow the job to fund your dreams? Like, when is that okay? I think growing up, hearing the word hobby was triggering. Like people would talk about your hobby. Oh, that's a hobby. That's not like a full-time job. Like that's not, you're not gonna get salary off that. That's just your hobby. You just like doing that thing. But in reality, it's like, no, that's my passion. That's my why. That's my desire. Like that's what I want to do in this life. And it might sound silly to you, and it might look like just a hobby to you, but to me, it's everything. Like it's everything that I want. It's everything that I want to be. And I think those distinctions for us creatives as we're now older is hard to hear someone call something that we do just a hobby. It's kind of like this belittling feeling of like, no, that's my career, right? Like that's everything I want and more. And for me and other multi-passionate creatives, I know it's really hard, and you look around and you're like, well, I'm monetizing all of my hobbies. Is that because, or sorry, all my passions, like I'm monetizing all my passions. Is that because you're like, this is what I need to do, or this is what I want to do, this is what happened organically? Or is it because when you weren't monetizing, or as a younger kid, when you looked at your passions, they weren't respected, or your hobbies weren't respected because they weren't monetized? And now, so in order for you to move forward, you're like, I'm gonna monetize all of this. Like before you can just like something and do something because you like it, it's like, how am I gonna make money off this? What's the strategy behind this? And eventually what that cycle does is it takes out and it drains the fun of like why you did it in the first place. Like why were you even starting this thing in the first place? And so when I look at this like 9 to 5 conversation with like the dream and the passion, and you feel like the way that you set your 9 to 5 up is like, I hate this. I hate the place, I hate the people, I hate the things. Like this is why my life sucks. And I'm done, right? Like this is what's causing me all of the struggle and pain in my life. And if I didn't have this, then I could succeed in this. I really want to challenge that and ask if there's space to look at that job as what it is, a job. And know that yes, we are eventually moving to make our job our passion, to make those same things. Like we as people, we want our passions to be monetized. That's fair. I think there's a lot of people that are like, don't monetize your passions, like they can be separate if you want. If that's what you want, like if you feel like you don't want to monetize your passions and you want them to be separate, that's completely fine. But for me, I want to wake up every day and know that I'm pouring my entire being into what I'm creating, and it just so happens to be a job that I'm making money from, and it just also happens to be my passion that I love, and I would do it even if I wasn't making money from it. And so at this like transitional period where you feel like I need to leave this place because I want to go all in on this thing, right? But I haven't really, like, I don't really know what I'd be doing here. I don't really know what's next for me in this space. I don't know like if I would succeed in it. I just know that this is what I want to do. I wanted to take a beat in this area, in this space of the 9 to 5, and think like, can it be just that? Like, can it be just a job? Can it be the thing that funds our dream? Can it be the thing that allows us to pursue the things that we wanted to pursue without the pressure and the anxiety and the fear? Like, is that okay? Yeah. Like, is it okay to, put energy into this thing that's allowing us to pay our bills, our rent, our responsibility, our food, to go out with our friends, to have dinner, to have a drink, to have another drink, like, and then also be able to go home and make a cute and comfortable space that you can be creative in and passionate in, and have a fire that's like, that can't be tamed? Is it okay to like separate those two things for a period of time until you see like, oh, this thing actually organically? Because if you want to monetize your passion and you learn and you try, you start, you jump in, you test things out, you change, you iterate, try again, it starts to get better, right? And eventually you start to show up, whether it's you're growing an audience or you're growing a product, people start to see that thing, and all of a sudden money starts to come around in this passion, in this area, organically, not because it was like, I am quitting my job and I have to make money here. Like, I'm quitting everything that I've ever, what I've built, because I need to leave that behind, and I need to fully focus on this one thing that's going to make me money. Even though it's not making me money right now, it's going to make me money. I think with that just comes this like your energy was already so disheveled here because of the expectations and the responsibilities of, you just feel like, this is not me. And then you move to this place of like, okay, now I'm here and I'm fine, I've arrived. But the energy that you're bringing into the space is like, I need this to work. I need this to work. And you're gripping, you're holding, and you're like, if this doesn't work, I don't know what I'm gonna do. If this doesn't work, like, this is the end of it for me. Like, I'm gonna have to ask people for money. I can't pay my bills. I'm not gonna be able to eat. I'm gonna have to skip meals. And that energy like doesn't resonate with the dream life that you're trying to create. That doesn't resonate with this like dream in your mind of like living in your passions and embodying your passions and walking outside and having that energy of just like, I'm living the life that I've dreamed of. I'm living the life that I deserve to live. I'm living through my passions. Like, this is what I love to do, and I love to share that with others. Instead, there's like this want and this like lack of, it's like a mentality that you're just like, I'm lacking success here, I'm lacking money here, and I need to get it or else my life is a mess and it's a failure. I think it's a challenging conversation. The reason I deleted the other video is because it's a really hard conversation for me to have, because I understand the triggers of the word hobby. Like, I understand growing up in these spaces where creativeness wasn't seen as a job or a profession, or like you're able to make a full-time salary on that. Like, you're able to love what you do and make money off of it. I get that conversation. And so when I say treat that passion as a hobby and let it grow into a monetized like entity, it's like, it's kind of like really, like, it sounds something that like an older person would have said to me, but like without the monetized part. Like, just like, it's a hobby, treat it as such. Like, it's just a hobby, it's just your hobby. But then it also makes me challenge that feeling of like, is that like, is my mindset on the hating the word hobby going to hold me back from achieving the life that I want? Not only living through my passion, but achieving the life that I want. Like, I don't claim a struggling artist. I don't claim a struggling creative. Like, that's just not something that I don't think it's like, I think people like romanticize the idea of struggling artists, and like, I don't want to struggle. I'm not romanticizing the word struggle. actually, because that's not what I want for my life. That's also not what I see for my life. In my dream life, I see abundance and success, love, passion, fun, creativeness, like an outpouring of ideas, and just like living in that and living around that, where like if I have an idea, I can act on it. If I have an idea, like it can come true with all of the resources around me. So the idea of like a struggling artist, or like I'm gonna give up everything and just like focus in on here and you know, not eat when I want, or like I want to go out to dinners. I want to be able to join my friends wherever they're going and pursue my passions. I do. I want to live a luxurious life. I am living, like I'm going to reframe it. I am living a luxurious life while pursuing my passions. My passions energize me. And I think the things that we decide, like the intentions that we have with our action, like our action of deciding that the job is just going to be that. It's going to be a place that I go and I'm going to be grateful for it because it allows me to do the things that I love to do. And it also allows me to live a luxurious life. And it also allows me to pursue my passions. And eventually one day it's going to allow me to quit so that I can then fully operate in this life that I've dreamed of and wanted for my entire life, right? So I think reframing how we look at a job, because I saw a video, I don't know if you know Simon Squibb, but like literally after I filmed that video, I went on TikTok, and the first video was like this guy that was like, I quit my job 2 weeks ago and I bought your book and I'm going all in. And Simon Squibb was like, okay, what's your idea? And he like had an idea of an idea. And he was like, well, this is what I'm thinking. And for me, I'm like, the energy behind that, like the energy of quitting your job with an idea of an idea and then being like, I have to go all in and this has to work, is actually kind of crazy to me. Because I've had so many ideas. Like I think as a creative, you have so many ideas and you never know which idea is actually going to come to fruition. Like you never know what your path is going to look like. I always say like, you don't know what the how is, like you know an idea of like what the what is, right? So having an idea of an idea and being like, I'm quitting my job, doesn't that bring about fear and anxiety and doubt? And like, that is so normal, even after being in business, like for me, for 2 years, and then being like, well, I want to pivot. There's still going to be anxiety, fear, and doubt. That's normal. Like those feelings are normal. It's also exciting. It's like, okay, let's see what happens. I've succeeded before, I can succeed again. But there's still a foundation that I've created, right? Like the business, there's still something underneath that I have that I can call mine. It's not that I'm just like, okay, I'm diving in head first, like no goggles, no breathy tube, no flippers, no swimsuit. I'm naked in the middle of the ocean. The sharks are after me. Like, that sounds terrible, actually. That sounds like the worst idea ever. And so when I think about my dreams and like how much I care for them, and I also think about like your dreams and how much like I want them to come true, I think about intention and like being intentional with our actions and being like, this is my baby, right? I'm not gonna coddle it because eventually one day it's gonna leave the what's it called? The nest, and like go out on its own and just be and exist. So like I can't coddle, like I have to like nurture and raise. And so it's like my dreams, like I'm gonna nurture my dream and like keep it close, right? And make sure that I'm pouring in the energy and the lessons and the teachings until eventually it's like, okay, let's take a big girl move, right? Like, I don't know if that makes sense. But what I'm trying to say is the idea of just being like, I'm just gonna quit. I don't have any savings. I don't have any nothing. Works for some people. It does. But I think that there's also a place that we can rethink and change our mindset around like what this job is, what this 9 to 5 is. And then the next thing to do is structure our lives to say, this is the time that I give to my 9 to 5. This is the time that I give to my passions and hobbies. Let your brain and your subconscious realize how much you must really love those passions and how much you really pour into those hobbies so that it sees like, oh, you're taking this serious. Oh, you really want this to happen. You really want this to come true. Okay, noted. And as you move through life, your reticular activating system starts to pick up on things that will be really beneficial for your hobby, for your passions, for the things that you really love that you're not monetizing just yet. Maybe a deal comes in, or like an opportunity to do this thing that you're like, you know what, maybe this would be a really good idea for me to like get seen by some people. It's a free opportunity. I'm not gonna make any money on it, but it's a really good opportunity for me to, grow the people that know about my business or my audience. Just like putting yourselves in situations that help, and it might not be a monetary help, because at this point you have the monetary foundation of this 9 to 5, that you see these opportunities, these social opportunities that help you really establish this hobby and grow it further. There's not this pressure that you're putting on it that it has to succeed with what it is, right? So like, if, for example, if I were to quit my job and then I'm like, okay, like there's this idea that I want to go all in, like you go all in. And for me, at least in my job, I've seen multiple different transitions. I started as a social media management, doing fully like running people's social medias, right? Like straight on. Then I went into like more agency. Then I went to the one-on-one talent. Like none of those things were failures. They were just transitions, pivots, periods of time where I'm like, okay, figuring out what I want to do. And none of those things felt like, oh my God, this is so scary. What happens if I do this next and like my business crumbles? Because I already created a foundation of what my business was, right? And there were savings and there was all the things in place that didn't make me feel like this was the end of the world. And so I'm able to enter these times and transitions in my life feeling like, okay, let's figure it out. Curious and like ready, excited for like what's coming next. And not like fearful and clutching and just scared and just like questioning everything about, did I just make the craziest decision of my entire life? Did I? You might have, right? And that's okay if you did. I'm never gonna hold you back from your dreams. In fact, I want you to run to them 310%. And I want you to understand that like, there's a lot of ways to go about this, and there's a lot of ways to get to the end result. And some people will decide to just quit outright and dive in, and that will work for them, and I hope it does. And some people will decide to reimagine what their job really means in their life and pour into their passions and really figure that out on the side. And I get it. Like, I also agree that it's great to just have a plan A and to just think about like, this is the only thing that can work. And for me, that's just entrepreneurship. Like, I think my plan A is so like, I'm just an entrepreneur. That's it. It's not like a specific idea. It's not like this idea is all that can work for me. It's just like, I'm an entrepreneur. That's my plan A. I'm gonna make money by building my business. What that business may be, I don't know, but we'll figure it out as we keep taking the steps. So this is really just to give some motivation, or to, like sit and really think about where you're at right now, whether you are working that 9 to 5 and you're feeling like, I don't know what to do and I want to be creative. Like, be creative. Find the time. We all have the same 24 hours. I hate it, but we do. Find the time. Let your passions know that you do care about them. Let your passions know that they are seen by you, that you love all of your talents and your skills, and you are ready to bring that into whatever space you exist in. And that's okay. And it's also okay to have something that funds your life while you also pursue your passions. It's okay to do both. There's like this whole thing about like, if you're gonna be creative, like you gotta give it your all. And it's like, it's okay to do both until the time for transition happens. And it's like amazing. It's anxiety, there's fear, but it's like, I'm ready, I'm excited. There's also excitement, right? And there could be excitement when you're quitting your job. It's like, let's do it. I don't know, but I'm just like, I really think that there is a part for me that feels like it's not okay to just have a hobby, because that's what it is, right? Like me posting on YouTube right now, a passion, a hobby. I'm not getting paid for it. It's okay. But in my mind, I'm like, oh, right, like you just got create a strategy, create a business plan, write everything down, make sure so you can get monetized, so you can start making money, so you can start making this much money. Then if you make this much money in this month, then you can make a whole salary, and then this can be your full time, and you have to just go all in on this. I mean, okay. Or I can have fun and take my time. Be strategic. I can be strategic. I can look at the numbers. I can analyze. but I can also treat it as it is, a hobby, because it is. I don't have to put the pressure on like, this video did not perform well. It is, you are like, this video had to perform well so you can get monetized and it didn't. Like, you're not getting the views that you need to get, and so you're not gonna be able to pay your bills. Like, it's just so draining, and it drains your creativity. And that's the most important part of the conversation here. Like, don't let your creativity drain because of the thought of money. It ruins it. It takes away the thing that you love. It takes away the passion. It literally drains the passion. And so now you're just left with a job. It becomes a job. And I think that's the point that I want to make, is that we don't realize that when we put the pressure on the thing that we love, and we like focus in on it, and we own it, we're like, we need this to work. This has to work, or else I'm done. I'm done. It takes the passion away from you. It drains you. It drains the energy, and you end up back where you were, where you started, and it becomes a job. So like, what are you going to decide? Are you going to decide to let the job that you currently have fund what you want to do? And like, literally let the foundation of your dream grow. Let it be that, a dream. Let it be this dream. Like, let it feel light and fun and creative. Like, let it be that. Let it be a space for you to just try things and fail. I hate it, but fail at others. Let it be a space where it's like, creativity is so desired. It's like wanted. It's what we yearn for. So it doesn't matter if a video flops. It's like, okay, it flopped, and what? My bill, this doesn't pay my bills. This literally is just for me because I like doing it. That's it. There's no like result if something doesn't go the way that you want it to. And so then you grow and you learn like what works and what doesn't. Like, you take away the pressure of like, this isn't performing well. I have to be consistent. I'm putting all my time into this, but it's not giving me the results that I want to see. And so now what? What am I going to do? How am I going to move forward? And it's just like constant stress and cycle that you put your whole life, like you put your life on the line. When in reality, it was just something that you loved to do. It was like ingrained in you with your purpose. Don't do that to yourself. It's not worth it. Like, it's not worth it. It's way more worth it to redefine a job, to redefine what that job means to you, to redefine what those people mean to you, to redefine the fact that like, I'm gonna walk up in this place and they're gonna have something for me to do, and I'm gonna be like, ew, but I'm also gonna be like, thank you so much, because you allow me to put my energy and my love and my passion on a pedestal. You allow me to do that. This job allows me to do that. This job allows me to pay for all the things, the luxuries I want in my life. And I get to do the things that I'm passionate about. Who wouldn't want that? And eventually, like I said, one day, I'm like, if you work and you're consistent at the thing and you love it so much and you show up in that energy of love and appreciation and just like, this is why I'm doing it. I'm doing it because I love it, not because I want something out of it. The energy, like, if you talk about energy, like, you know that that's a different like vibration, right? Like the energy of like want, like, I want it so bad, I'm so scared I'm not gonna get it, I want it so bad, versus like just being like, oh, it's gonna happen, and I just love being here. And yeah, like, those are different vibrational situations and environments. And so really just like treating your passions as they are, and sitting in the idea that it's okay that I'm treating my passion as a hobby, because a hobby isn't bad. A hobby's not bad. It's great to have hobbies. It's actually great to have hobbies. So redefining these words and like what we've been told, and really putting ourselves first, and being intentional with our actions towards our dreams, and understanding that like we are going to get there regardless. And some things along the way are just helping us. They're stepping stools or stones, stepping stones to where we want to go. And that's it. That's it. It's not to drain us, to like make us hate our lives, to hate ourselves. It's just to help us get to where we want to go. And we gotta use it as that. We gotta see it as that. So I hope that I was able to like I'm gonna watch this back, and I think I did a way better job of saying what I wanted to say. It's not that I'm not telling you to like go full force on them. Girl, 100% go in. go in, go full force, run to them. The only thing is, realize that like, you want to love it so bad. You don't want to put the pressure on it. You don't want to look at it and resent it because you're like, I love this thing and I love it, but it's just not making me the money that I need. Like, you don't want that. That's not the result that you want. Like, you want to look at your dreams and be like, thank you. Like, thank you for existing and allowing me to achieve them and go after them. Like, thank you. Because I've dreamt of being here and I've made it. And I'm happy and I'm fulfilled. And I live an abundant life in my dreams. All right, y'all. I hope that resonated. I hope you understood what I was trying to say. Let's talk about it in the comments. Whatever you think. If you want to challenge the idea, please do. I'm really interested in what you guys have to say about this because it was definitely a hard conversation for me to have. And that's why I was like, I need to refilm this because I definitely know who I'm talking to and I know that the message needs to get out. I just wanted to come from a really like authentic place when I was having this conversation because it's hard. And the last thing that I wanted to do was for anyone to think that RAENA told me to put my dreams on the back burner and not go after them fully. Like, are you kidding? What a rumor. Anyways, okay, bye guys.